Bam. Rio Garcia Renderos, the Meerkat. Thank you for coming on the show, man. Thank you for coming on the JB Rambo show.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, I know you had a fight yesterday, last night. Didn't go your way after a decision, right?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel good, man. Honestly, like I don't feel like my last fight I had last year in July when I lost. That one kind of like hurt, like because I felt like I like that one. It got stopped, so I got a TKO. It was a little early, but like I did get caught, so that loss hurt. But this one, I don't feel like that. I feel good about it. I feel good. Like my performance was good. I was able to showcase my skills in every level too. There was a really good scrap. Like we hit the ground. We did some clinch work. We struck, and I just, unfortunately didn't get the decision. He had more control time on the ground, but I felt like I landed more shots.
Yeah, well, I mean, you seem to. I saw some of your Instagram clips. You seem to. Be in good spirits about the whole thing, So,
yeah. I mean, I can't be mad about it. I understand he came out to do what he had to do to win. That was his game plan and everything. And I came out to do. I was ready for anything, but he was a lot bigger and stronger than I thought. So it was a lot harder to get him off me. But as far as the striking though, when we're on our feet, I felt like I was getting the better of him. I felt like I did more damage overall. But
you had made a comment. You had made a comment on your Instagram about wrestling.
Oh yeah. Okay, people take that the wrong way. Like,
did anybody say anything to you? Because I noticed that you didn't recant your comment, but
I had to clarify it because I just had like my little brother, he say like, oh, but like, don't you do tournaments and stuff? And I was just like, no, yeah, like I'm not. When I know when I said, oh, like he won because of using wrestling shit, like I didn't mean it in the sense of like, oh, like like don't, that's whack, like don't be wrestling and stuff, because I tried to take him down too, so there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I feel like the only thing is that when we're fighting in a fight and you're gonna take someone down, I feel like you need to do something with that takedown and not just hold them and then throw a shot here and there and then pull a decision that way, especially if you were getting tagged up more.
So you think that, and I don't think this is unreasonable, but that you should capitalize on a takedown, meaning that if you're gonna give someone points for a takedown, that they should at the very least have got a strike in.
Yeah, at least get some strikes in. Look, be aggressive, try to look to finish the fight. I feel like you need to, at least look for submission, try to pass, do something, like don't just hold on to me and then throw a shot here and there. And, like I mean, like I said, I'm not mad at him for it. He did what he had to do to win.
Right.
And, I just gotta get stronger. I gotta get better, and gotta get my technique better. I was having a hard time getting up though. Like he was a lot stronger than I thought. But it made sense though, because coming into this fight, I was supposed to fight some guy at 140, and then he ended up pulling out. So they couldn't find me.
So this wasn't your regular guy you were supposed to go up against?
No, this wasn't even my weight class. Oh. I took the fight at 150.
Oh, so, he did look a little bigger.
Yeah. So like, I walk around. I don't walk around much bigger than 150. Like I walk around, like pretty much what I weighed in at, and So that's what they had told Coach Noah too. They told him that the guy was he's same walk around weight, and everything, which was I was like, all right then, cool. Like, I'll take that fight. If they couldn't get me another fight in my weight class, then I'll take that one.
Speaking of Coach Noah, you and I, we've met before.
Yeah, I've seen you in class.
I didn't realize that. I saw you Friday at the Nogi.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, man? And I apologize. I didn't realize it was you.
Oh,
I saw a glance and I was like, oh, that guy looks familiar. And then, but that's all. I just in passing, and I just went about my business. And then,
yeah, I was gonna go approach you
yeah,
and tell you hi, but
you should have said hi, man. I would have.
yeah, but I just kind of sometimes when I'm in class, I kind of just like zone in on myself,
sure.
like trying to just focus. But yeah, man, I saw you though, like, and I had seen you before. I think at a gi class too.
Yeah. So do you do much gi?
When I started going with Noah at Tillis, yeah, I started doing gi a lot. So I've been doing gi. I haven't competed in the gi, but that's for sure something in the bucket list because I've competed in pretty much everything. Like as far as combat sports, no gi, jiu-jitsu tournament, kickboxing match.
But you see yourself more as a striker.
Yeah, I've always seen myself more as a striker. Like I've always preferred to strike. But once I started grappling, I realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this, and yeah, I like it too. It's funny because my first fight I won off my back. I beat him with a triangle choke.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Okay. So and everybody knew me for a striker, and he's the wrestler. So it was kind of ironic how that happened. But after that, like after I did that, I never ever attempted triangles like in training or anything. So when I finished the fight with the triangle after that, like my confidence in grappling just went up. And once you see yourself executing things like that and doing things that you didn't think you could do, or especially like in a fight, that confidence booster really does elevate your skills and your technique because you become that much more motivated to get better because you realize, hey, I can actually do these things. Like I'm good at these things.
And do you I suppose you see the importance of having, can you hear me in your mic, in your earphones?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Or is it coming in and out?
No, I can hear you.
All right, good, man. It's coming out of my earphones.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure it's there for the camera. But I'm sure you could see I think there's a lot of value in it just because, there are a lot of fighters who are just strikers. Like say, I think Israel Adesanya is a guy who's just all about the striking. But I think even he can appreciate that wrestling and takedowns and sprawling is just part of the game because the reality is you could end up on the floor.
Yeah, it's MMA. That's why. Yeah. So that's why I'm not mad about it too much. I'm not even mad about it. I feel like I said I had a good fight. I felt like it was a great fight. It was fun. I had fun. It was a good show, and my opponent, he was game. It was cool. Like we put on a good showcase of skills. They got to see a little bit of everything.
I saw you throw a nice kick to his face.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't tell from the camera if it landed, how well it landed.
Oh yeah, it skinned off the top of his head. My foot did. So okay. I caught him with it. But I didn't look. I wasn't too sure if he was hurt, so I didn't want to go in and then get caught with something. So
were you surprised that the decision went to him?
I had a feeling because the control time, like I said, I was like, I did feel like I won the first and second round. I did. Like I was like, okay, I landed the bigger shots. I landed more. There's more damage on him. Like I didn't, he didn't hit me really. Like the one good strike he hit me with was like on the back of the side of the head, and that was really the only one that I felt. Other than that, like he hit me with some body shots when we were on the ground, but like they were just tapping. So.
Going into that match, like when you're coming out and you're seeing all the people, you're about to approach the cage. What's going through your mind? What are you feeling in that moment?
That's the hardest part, man. Every time before a fight, like, yeah, it's always nerve wracking. It's because you don't know what's gonna happen. It's not like the street fight kind of, or these guys don't know how to fight, so when you're going in there with somebody who also trains and is putting in work to try to beat your ass too, it's it makes you think about a lot of things. You try to stay in a positive mindset, but your mind just goes everywhere sometimes, and you start thinking of like the bad, like, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens?
What if I get knocked out in front of everybody?
And that's the main one. That's the one that psychs me out the most. But, you know, I just try to remind myself every time though, like even if that happens, like it's okay. Like, you know, it's part of the game. You know, it's not a game. It's not a game, but it's part of the fight game. Part of the.
It's like Noah says, this ain't no game.
Yeah, this ain't no game. Yeah, this ain't no game. It's not like, you know, people get really hurt. You know, you get really hurt. You make a bad read on a strike, and you get hit with something good like a head kick. Like, you know, like that can be very devastating for someone. You know, it can be if it lands really good. So it's just things like that you know that come to your mind, but. Overall, though, it's just like, oh, you know, win or lose, you know, I feel like I've come a long way. So I don't have to be in there, but I want to be in there.
You know, I can't, like, first of all, I don't have what it takes to get into that ring mentally. I maybe not even when I was your age. Like, it's you know, I do jiu-jitsu and I compete in jiu-jitsu, and I get a small glimpse of probably what you feel when I'm in that the pen. They call it the pen or whatever. When you're waiting for your match, it is scary to think that, man, I could get choked out right now. Like this guy, I could get not embarrassed, but you feel that way.
It is. It feels like that. Like, so I know what you mean, because I still feel that way when I go to some jiu-jitsu tournaments. Like, I still get the nerves because you know you don't want to get embarrassed. You know.
But one thing I know is I ain't gonna get knocked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I know it takes a lot of courage to get out into that match, to get your head right. Like, do you have like little tricks or little things you tell yourself as you're about to go into that cage to calm your nerves? Or
yeah, this fight I did actually, you know, like for like my first fight, I kind of just tried to like ignore it, try to put it to the side. Because I mean, I've gotten in a lot of fights growing up, so a lot of street fights, you know, and usually, you know, they would be kind of scheduled, you know, like, oh, after school, you know, so you knew
scheduled. I got a scheduled match as soon as after 7th period.
Seriously, it was like that, like, all right, 3:00, you know, but yeah, so it was funny though, but even then though, like, as confident as I seemed to my friends, probably, like, I was still nervous because, number one, we're not wearing gloves, and this is a street fight. So, you know, anything could happen. And one thing I learned, too, though, over time, was don't fight in the streets. Don't do that, because you get hit wrong or you hit someone wrong, and their head bounces off the concrete or a curb, and that's it for them. And now that's it for you, too, because you're going to get manslaughter.
Did you have a lot of street fights?
Yeah,
growing up,
a lot growing up. Since I was little, like I was fighting since, like, I was like in kindergarten, to be honest. But a lot of it wasn't because, like, honestly, like, a lot of it wasn't because I was like an aggressive person or anything.
Did you get picked on a lot?
Yeah, I got picked on a lot. So people tried to pick on me, and most of the time, like, I would kind of try to just ignore it, you know, until I would get fed up, you know, until, like, I just felt like, okay, like, because I would be scared of these kids, because a lot of the time I was moving in schools a lot, so I was always a new kid, so, you know, people didn't, you know, I guess they don't really resonate with you too well, and
then you got haters.
You know, and unfortunately, that's been like a curse of my life, man. I feel like sometimes, like, everywhere I go, there's always just a group of people who just don't like me for some reason, but maybe that's just in my head. I don't know.
Sometimes I was talking about this the other day with somebody. They hate us because they ain't us. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of time, I got picked on a lot too. Not to take it away from you, but I always just assumed that because I was cool. I was a cool ass dude, and you want to beat up the new cool guy.
Dude, I thought so too, man. Like, in a weird way, I was like, I guess I must be bothering them some way, like, you know, because, like, you know, I wasn't a loud kid. Like, I kept to myself. I was like, you know, it's just have those people, man, like, they just wanted to try to test you all the time and everything. But, like, as I got older, you know, like, and, you know, you make a reputation for yourself, I guess. You know, people started fighting me, they picked on me less, especially in high school. By high school, people didn't really, like, they would they would try, but once they would see me get upset, then it would usually end there. So.
Where'd you go to high school, man?
I
Give a
went-
shout out to your high school.
Oh, I don't even want to give them a shout out, man. I did not like that school. To be honest.
Well, you're from Montebello, right?
Yeah, I went to Sure High School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to give you a way out.
Yeah, I went to Sure High School, but yeah, like I spent most of my time though with my friends like in East LA and stuff. So like the kids from like Sure, they're mostly Montebello kids, and it's funny like it's two cities right next to each other, but they're so different. People can be so different,
Yeah.
Especially like you see the kids from Boyle Heights compared to the kids even right here in Whittier, like they're different, and like I felt like, I guess because I felt like maybe where I was going to school at, these were kids maybe with a little bit more money, like so they like I just didn't click with them, so I was kind of more of an outsider. And then but like in high school when I would when I fought a lot in high school, it was mostly because the kids that did try to pick on me, they would pick on me in groups. Now they would pick on me like in gang related type of things, like so they would have their friends involved. It wouldn't be just like one-on-one type of thing. It escalated in high school with people that really wanted to like get under my skin, and then they would get, if I beat someone up, their friends would get mad. And unfortunately, thinking about that, like that's how it led me down this like bad road in high school. Because like I always did sports. I always loved playing sports. I played basketball, everything, I tried out for the team. Then, beat up one kid and got kicked off. And after that, I tried to do soccer. Didn't make the soccer team, and little by little, I just started like with the fighting and everything, getting picked on, like getting jumped after I got off the bus. Started having to hang out. I started feeling like I had to hang out around certain people, like to kind of protect me, for protection. So like got involved with that kind of lifestyle, like the gang lifestyle, you could say. I wasn't a gang banger or anything like that, but I was just in those little stupid crews and stuff, like doing stuff like that. And
were you angry in high school, stuff like that?
Yeah, that's something I always had to deal with growing up, though. I was always a pretty angry kid, but just because life's not always fair to everybody, and I just had a hard time understanding that, like why life was the way it was growing up. But as I got older, I mean, I'll be honest, like it took me a while to really, really, really get my head together. Like I'd say I didn't really start growing up and really looking at my life seriously like until like I was 28, maybe 29.
What happened at that time that gave you the inclination to start making some changes?
I was not in a great place, to be honest with you. After high school, I went to the Marine Corps, and then when I got out of the Marine Corps, I had a hard time like adapting back to the civilian life. So
I saw that you're a vet.
Yeah, so that was like it was hard, and I was dealing with relationship problems with my ex-wife at the time, and it was just a lot happening all at once around me, and I just slowly started falling off the cliff, man. I started like drinking a lot, just doing things I shouldn't be doing, not being responsible. Like I would miss work a lot. Like I was just kind of like letting my life slip away. During all this time, lost a lot of friends, a lot of people, it was really hard times during that time too, especially trying to cope with life and trying to like, people not understanding what's going on with you, because I guess I don't want to say I had PTSD, but maybe I did. I never got that checked out, but maybe I did. But
that's a real possibility.
Yeah, it is. But because I was, I like the things I was just doing was not healthy for me, and it wasn't. It was just taking me down the wrong path. So one day, like I was working as a security guard, and it was like 2-3 in the morning, and I just had like an epiphany, like man, why can't I do things right? Like, what's going on? Like, you know, and I reached out to God for the first time, you know, and for a while, like I had a very distant relationship with the Most High. I didn't really, you know, even believe. And then that night, I prayed to him and I asked him for help. I just told him, you know, show me what I'm supposed to do because I don't know what I'm doing and nothing's working out in my favor, you know. And since then, that was like 5 years ago. Like little by little, I was making better decisions, you know, and I contribute that a lot to him because when you know I started reading the Bible and stuff, I started learning how to conduct yourself as a person, you know, like what's expected of you, and yeah, it helped a lot. You know, I still dealt with the biggest demon of all, which is alcoholism. That was the hardest one to kick. That's, you know, like I even still dealt with it. Like last year, you know, I had a relapse for a little bit, and I've been clean though. I've been good sober for 4 months now, but for a few months there, like I was starting to go back down that road after I lost my fight, my last fight. So like that made me start questioning, like, oh, like, you know, I never really learned to lose until now, you know. So when that happened, I felt like I don't know if this is for me. Am I in over my head? Am I too old? What am I thinking? Like maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
You're having some self doubt.
Yeah, a lot of it, a lot of self doubt. Like I thought I should just give up. And
Did you have anybody that you could talk to about that? Did
no, I mean, I had friends. You know, you have friends you kind of talk to about it, but like,
What about growing up? You have any positive, strong men in your life that
I mean, my stepdad was around, but he was always at work, so he wasn't really there like that. So, no, like I kind of had to, like when I went to the Marine Corps, that's when I started learning how to become a man. Really, you know, like aside from having to be the big brother in my family, like just me, my older sister, and then my little brother. You know, so I'm the middle of the three, but I'm the oldest of the boys. So I always felt like, you know, I had to be the man, you know, of the three. And yeah, that was hard because, you know, trying to show you're trying to learn something that you just like a kid trying to teach himself how to do something, be a man. Like that's not you.
that's a huge problem that we have in society is men raising themselves. It's difficult. You know, you're one of the lucky ones because you had enough going on in here and up here to pull yourself out of that. But there's a lot of young dudes out there, guys like me, for example, who got it together really late in life. You know, I'm 45 years old. You've already come so much further, and you're young, what, 34?
33.
33 years old. You've already well ahead of the curve of me, who's 45, and took me a lot of wasted opportunities, a lot of lost opportunities that you managed to pull yourself up from, and you're in the ring. You're where I always wanted to be, but never could get it together. So that's really something, you know? So how did you get yourself pull yourself out of the alcohol, the relationship issues you were having to be the guy to be there for your siblings and your family, be the man? How did you take all that responsibility and get over the alcohol and get yourself to a position where now you're in the ring? How did you get there?
Yeah, again, like it started with the reading of the Bible. Like, I mean, it's a little like cliche, probably, you know, it's not probably the popular thing people want to hear, but that's just the truth in my life. That's what it is. And as I read and as I seen how the men in that book conducted themselves as the things that God expects of us as men, like I had to really give myself a reality check of what it is to be a man, because what my perspective of what I thought a man was was not falling in line with what God's expectations of a man is. So that helped me a lot, because there's actually a good scripture in Proverbs that I can't remember it off the top of my head, but
paraphrase it.
Yeah, I'm gonna paraphrase it for you. It just says kind of like it's a mother talking to her son. I think he's a king or a prince, but she tells him that to not give your strength unto women and to alcohol. Like these are things that and these are things that bring a king down, that bring a man down. And it's very true, because in my life I experienced it, man. Like, like when I would be with a woman, like if I would be in a relationship, like I would just put everything into it and forget about like everything else. And I felt like when those things would end, it was like the end of the world, but it wasn't, like, and it made me weak because I was overly emotional and I wasn't focused on what I should be doing to progress, in order to, and that's what's going to help you. I feel like that, like when you're able to focus on yourself in a healthy way and progress, the people around you, they're like, there's no reason. I don't feel like there'll be any negativity around, like it'd be easier to maintain a relationship, but unfortunately that's not how things work out all the time. And as as I was going through this change, I just look back at the decisions I would make and make sure that I stood away from doing those things. Like I again, like back to alcohol, like when like the mother said to the prince, stay from, don't give your strength to women and don't give your strength to alcohol, like, because alcohol brings you down, and it does. Like alcohol, and my whole life, like unfortunately I've been plagued around alcoholics, so I've seen what it does to people and what it does to relationships, and it's just destructive, man. Like it really, it's not only destructive to your health and to your body, but it's destructive to people around you, because nobody wants to deal with somebody that's drunk all the time, and not even a fun drunk, like maybe over aggressive or something like that. Not that I was never really like that. Like I just like to try to, like, I felt like I was probably trying to hide a lot of things behind it. So I would just try to have fun partying, and but it wasn't until like it got bad. Like I had gained a lot of weight. I was like 185 pounds, man. Like I was pretty big. Yeah. Yeah. And it was during the pandemic. Like, look, this was funny. Like 5 years ago after that prayer, I signed up to a gym. Shout out to that gym, PKG in West LA. And shout out to my first coach, Mike Mendoza. A lot of my foundation was from him. So shout out to him.
Absolutely.
And when I started there and everything was good there, because financial reasons, I had to leave that gym. And then the pandemic came like maybe a year later, something like that. And I was still training, but I had started training at the UFC gym because it was more affordable for me. So I was at Rosemead at the UFC gym. Shout out to Rosemead UFC gym too. So I was there for a while. The pandemic happened, so bam, right back to drinking. So for that whole time, I was still trying to train after work, but slowly and surely I just stopped. And I was already making good changes. I was good. I was like, okay, like, but then I fell hard, and I went like probably like, yeah, it was up until 2 years ago. 2 years ago now. Yeah, 2 years this month, where I had another epiphany. I was sitting in front of a mirror, and I just looked at myself and I saw how I looked, and I did not like what I saw in the mirror, because I've always been an athletic person. I've always been a type of person to keep in shape and be on top of my health, or try to just try to at least maintain some kind of health level. So I looked at myself and I was just like, man, is this what we want? Like, do I want to look back when I'm 50 years old and say, damn, dude, I didn't even try to finish my dream of being a fighter. Like, I let the bottle beat me, like, I was like, I'm 30 years old. Like, I don't know. I think I was 31 at the time. Yeah, I was like, I'm 31. Like, I'm not getting any younger here. So if I'm going to do something, I got to do it now. And then very next day, and I was in a relationship again at this. I was in a relationship with a girl, like, and we were living together and stuff, and she unfortunately, it wasn't a great relationship because we were both other like every day, like it got bad. And again, women and alcohol,
It's true, man.
Yeah,
it's absolutely true.
It's so true. Like,
because the devil wants you to drink because he knows that if you're not clear in the mind, God can't work. It's difficult for God to work in your life. Exactly. That's what he wants.
Exactly. And I tell people that, I'm like, look, man, like, when things are going bad in your life, like, if for people who don't believe, it's just listen to this. But when things are not going good in your life and just you keep having these bad luck issues, like, oh, damn, man, I got a ticket for some reason, or like my tire's flat. Like, when things like that are happening and then you're doing things that are wrong, you're distancing yourself from God. And the more you put that space in between you and God because you sin, right? Let's put it out there that you keep doing what's wrong. You're giving all that playroom for the demons and the devil to work and destroy you.
100%.
Yeah. So like, but when you start doing things right and you're doing things to please God and you're genuine about it, then things start to turn around. It's really crazy how that works. Like, and I've seen it in my life. So like and I'm coming from someone that used to be very atheist. Like, when I was in the Marine Corps, they say there's no atheists and foxholes. And
is that what they say?
Yeah, they said there's no atheists and foxholes.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, when things hit the fan, everybody's praying.
That's right.
It's funny. And so, yeah, like, and that's how I felt in life at that point. Like, I just felt like I was in a foxhole fighting for my life, and I didn't know how to get out or how I was going to get out. And then I found my way out. I didn't find my way out. I was given a way out. I was given another chance, and I almost slipped that chance up again recently, but I realized it wasn't. It wasn't. That wasn't what was in store for me. Wasn't to give up. It was another challenge for me to overcome. It was the final challenge to overcome. Like, can you beat this after losing? Can you beat this again? And yeah, I did. I said no. I'm done. Like, this is it. And like I said, 4 months sober, going on 5. Don't even think about it.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Great. So I feel good. Like, that's why I went into this fight. I felt good. I I did everything right. That's why I hold my head up high from this fight, because it was a good time.
Yeah. And last night I saw some of your stuff. You went out. It looks like you did like a wholesome. You were with good people. Doesn't look like you drank or anything. And then I noticed this morning, were you out there running today?
Oh yeah, I went for a run.
Dude, that's sick. Yeah, man. I was like, man, this guy, he's about it. He's about his business. It didn't go the way you wanted to yesterday, but today you're right back at it, man.
Yeah, man. Like, and that's a victory right there.
Absolutely.
Like
100%.
Because even like any other time, I would have went out and drank, or something. Even if I lost, I would have been like, hey, I did good. Let's have a drink.
Or most people would have been like, I guess I could take a week off and.
My last fight I lost. Like I said, lost. Went to Mexico for the weekend and drank all weekend. I did hurt my foot in that fight though, so I couldn't train. But that didn't help because all I had time to do was just fuck off, and then lose focus, and that wasn't good.
But it sounds like you learned this time around.
I did
from that.
I did, and that's why like yesterday I was like, no man, I'm not gonna. Why am I gonna drink, man? Why am I gonna just? Why am I gonna step myself back? Like I've come far. Like for me, it's 4 or 5 months. It might not sound like anything to anybody else, but trust me, you come from where I come from. Like that's a big deal.
Absolutely.
You know.
Did you have a lot of support people there? You had a post this morning. I forgot what it was. Basically, you had more strangers out there.
Oh yeah.
Than for what was that?
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. How life works, you know. And but it never ceases to surprise me. You see, like again, you see, like a lesson the Bible teaches you too. Is that it doesn't matter. Most people that like usually people are gonna hurt you or not support you, or even your biggest haters are usually the people around you. You know, there's always a Judas in the group, you know, or two. There's always a couple of them, you know, like, you know, they want to just stay close, see what you're doing. But once you're doing too good, then they're not happy no more, you know. Then it's like, oh, man, like, then, you know, like, you could tell because before, you know, like, people, they'll reach out for you over, you know, let's go hang out, let's go do this, da-da-da-da. But then they don't. Once you start kind of, like, doing good, you kind of start seeing how people are, you know, like, and it's very unfortunate, man, because like I've never been like that. Like I've always been happy for my friends. Like when they do something good or something great, or they're able to pursue their dream, or like, you know, I'm like, dude, that's so dope. Like, you know, it makes me like it inspires me. Like, you know, it makes me want like, man, I could like. Fuck it, man. Like, you know, risk it all or nothing, you know.
I never understood. I was actually just talking about this not long ago. I never understood why there's people that have a hard time just being happy for somebody, a stranger, their friends. Like, what is so hard? I mean, I've had those feelings of like feeling bad, like I'm happy for my friend, but man, like why do I suck? You know?
Yeah, like you'll get that. I get that. Yeah.
But never once I was like, man, I hope that guy breaks his leg, or I hope that guy gets hit by a car or something. You know? But it's like, or I hope he falls flat on his face. Like who thinks that way? But people do.
People do. Like they do, and it's funny because like, you know, there's people who message me like, and you know they're all friendly and everything, but it's little do they know that I've heard things that they've said about me from people close to them.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah. Like it's funny because I've thought about confronting people about it, but I'm just like, you know what, man, like I don't care. Like
that's a weird conversation.
Yeah, like, you know, they're very irrelevant to my life,
right?
And at the end of the day, it's not going to change anything I'm doing. And if it bothers them that much, well, hey, I appreciate you as a fan and keep watching the show because it's not going to stop. You know? Exactly. So, like, that's how I see it.
I wanted to ask you, why do they call you the Meerkat?
Oh, that's a good story.
Tell me. Yeah. I saw that. I was like, the Meerkat, huh? All right, let's see what's up.
All right. Okay, so this goes back to the Marine Corps. All right. I was stationed in 29 Palms. You know, I don't know if you know where that's at. It's out in the desert.
That's here in California.
Yeah, by Joshua Tree.
Okay.
So we're stationed out there, and it's just desert, right? It's all desert. I didn't have a beard back then. You know, I didn't even have braids. And like I was bald headed. You know, everything, like my egg head was shown for the world. And I had a friend, well, we're still in contact, but great friend of mine. He's a brother of mine. His name's Joshua Jeffries. He's actually a rapper. He goes by the name Mike Menace. Y'all should check him out.
Okay.
We used to just make fun of each other, man, all the time. You know, it's the Marine Corps. That's all we would do is just roast each other. And one day I was standing out in the desert, like we were out training, and he comes up to me and he just says, "Hey man, you know, I was staring at you right now, and you know what you look like?" I was like, I already knew he was gonna say something smart. I was like, "What, man? What?" And he's just like, "You look like a damn meerkat." And I was like, "What's a meerkat, man?" He's like, Timon I was like, oh,
From the Lion King.
yeah, from the Lion King. I was like, all right, man, I got you. And ever since then, like, it was kind of just like a funny moniker, it's the inside joke. People who know, like, they we know, like, it's a funny thing, it's kind of, so it's not really, it was, I just embraced it though, like, because that's after, like, like, he called me Meerkat, somebody heard it, and then they're just like, oh, he does look like a meerkat. And after that, it just stuck. Like, I got a placard from the Marine Corps when I got out, and on there, it has my rank and my name, and then in parentheses, my nickname is Meerkat. And my brother and them, like, they call me that too. They're like, hey, Mir, hey, what's up, Mir? Like, I'm like, I guess that's my name. And
they had a really popular TV show called The Meerkats. It was about, I don't know if it was called The Meerkats actually, but my mom used to love it. It was a family of meerkats.
Yeah, it was on National Geographic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you go to the LA Zoo, and you'll see one of the first exhibits is a meerkat exhibit.
Oh yeah. They were sleeping. Like, it was hot. Wake up.
Right. Yeah. Well, you got to go early.
Yeah.
That's funny. So it stuck with you.
Yeah. So it stuck with me, and then I just started, doing some investigation, like, about meerkats. Like, let me find out some more. And then I come to find out they're vicious animals. They actually have, like, the most homicide rate of all animals.
Is that right?
Yeah, they kill. They're very murderous. It's funny.
I saw a video of you. I think it looked like it was a pool party, but it was still daytime, so it looked like it was about to be a party. But they were filming you doing an interview, and they asked you the question, what can people expect to see in this fight that's coming up that you had? And without hesitation, you said, violence. And I was just like, oh man, this guy. And so it's funny how you correlate the meerkats with straight up violence.
Yeah, so yeah. Well, I was like, well, I gotta embrace this meerkat thing a little bit more. Let me see what they're about, like, and also too, I kind of like. Because if you watch how meerkats fight, they kind of tussle a lot, so and they're like getting grappling exchanges, so it's funny. So like, I like, my style, like the way I grapple, I like, I'm very active. I like to move. I like to, I like scrambling as much as I can and staying active. So,
what is your training like? How do you prepare for a fight? And did you prepare the same way for this fight that you did for your previous fight?
Oh no, this fight was this camp. I was dialed in, from my diet to my sleep routine to my to how many times I was training my striking a week, to my grappling, how much I was working that every week. I dialed in everything. I was up until I got my new opponent, I was checking my weight, like, constantly, making, measuring everything I ate, like, and I actually didn't the last camp, I wasn't very responsible. Like I said, I had
Did you have the same level of support that you did for last camp as you did for this?
No, I didn't. This camp was, I had a lot more support this camp. I had a lot more people helping me, a lot more people behind me. And, that helps a lot. That helps a lot because, like last year, I felt like the fight, like I was, I felt like I was going in there alone almost, like, aside from my boxing coach, because he's been with me the whole time. Like, shout out to Rhino, Coach Rhino. I love you, man. Like, he's like the father I never had, So he's a great man. That guy's there for me all the time, trying to just constantly worrying about how I'm doing mentally, constantly worrying about how I'm doing physically, what I'm eating, like, just making sure that I'm doing good and not regressing. So I appreciate him for that. But yeah, this camp was way better, man. Like, I felt my cardio was good. I felt like I trained hard. I felt strong. Everything was so good this camp. I was sober. I was so this camp I easily trained. Well, because I work a 9-to-5 job, so I have to, make my time count. So in the mornings, wake up early.
What kind of work are you doing?
Working in a warehouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I work in a warehouse. I drive forklift. So yeah, some days are more. I gotta do more than others. So like that's costly on my body.
Sure.
I feel
yeah,
it.
absolutely. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah, I feel it. So I gotta push through though. Like I gotta push through the days and get my training in. And
Did you have more training partners first camp, or did you increase your training partners this time around?
Oh yeah, I had way more training partners.
Who were your training partners?
Oh, the boys at Tillis, man.
Oh, is that right?
Shout out to Cowboy.
Shout out to Cowboy Quentin, right?
Yeah, Quentin. Yeah, shout out to him. He was in my corner yesterday too.
Excellent.
So I appreciate him for that, man. He did such a great job. Yeah, he's a big help.
Is Quentin your only training partner out there?
Oh no, there's we got Jacob over there, Damien, we got Oscar. Then there's Aaron too. There's a lot of great guys out there at Tillis that I get a lot of good work with. Tay, also Tay. A lot of guys with a lot of fight experience. So when I made that change to go to Tillis, it was the best thing I think I ever did. I feel like it is because I've gotten better in a lot of ways. I feel like unfortunately, if I would have been able to get a fight like maybe someone a little bit smaller, it would have been so different. I would not have been held down at all. It would, yeah, but
you still took the fight.
Yeah, I still took it though. Yeah, I still took it. I didn't. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll be faster. I'll use my speed. And I grapple with guys bigger than me, so I didn't think it was gonna be I honestly didn't think it was he's gonna be able to hold me down like that. But hey, good job, man. Shoot, not a lot of people could do that. To be honest, not a lot of people could just hold me down like that. So he did good with it. But
how many days are you in the gym?
I'm in the gym at least 5 to 6 days a week. Yeah,
it's like a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, sometimes I'm in there 7 days a week, especially when it's camp. If I feel like I didn't get enough training in during the week, or if I feel like I got to work on something a little bit more, I'll go in. I might not go as hard, just because I'm tired. But sometimes I also listen to my body though. If I know I'm tired and I'm feeling really, really beat, then I'll sit out a day. Sometimes it'll be random days too though. Because I try to have a set schedule, okay, Monday through Friday. One thing I do have set in schedule is Monday through Friday, in the morning. Cardio, strength and conditioning, and my striking with my boxing coach. That's mandatory, Monday through Friday. So I get my 5 days of striking in the morning. And then in the evening, I go grapple at Tillis. So I get my Jiu-Jitsu there and my MMA there. But that's usually the plan, right? Monday through Friday, and sometimes it'll spill into Saturday or Sunday, and I'll go from having maybe 8 to 10 training sessions to 12, 14 training sessions in a week. Yeah. But some days, like I said, some days they won't be as hard as others, to try to, so I can keep going, so I won't drain myself too much and have to miss too much. But when my body does feel tired, I will take the time though. So if I'm all right, 9 days training straight, I'm all right, I feel kind of tired now. Let's take maybe 2 days off. But even those 2 days that I take off, I don't fully take them off. I'll still go for a run or something. So, because I feel like in my head, I'm constantly thinking to myself, no, if I rest or if I rest too much, he's probably not resting. He's, I don't want to and sometimes, that might be a little bit of a downfall. Maybe sometimes I overtrain. I've been told that by a couple people, but I feel like I need to do that though. Cause I feel like when I'm locked in, I was this camp training hard all the time like that and pushing myself, even when I was tired, it boosted my confidence. It just made me feel better. I did everything. I checked all the boxes. I'm good to go. It's just showtime now. And, I prayed before I went into the cage, and I told God, I said, I'm not asking you for the win. I'm not for a victory or anything. I'm just asking that you let me perform, at the best of my ability.
You felt like you you felt like you did everything you could have done to prepare for this fight?
Yeah, I did. I really did. I felt, like, one takeaway though, like I will say, from the fight is that I gotta get better at using the cage to get up for sure. So, cause, I know there's way better grapplers out there, so I gotta get better at being able to get, that part of getting back up if I need to.
Yeah. Well, the boys at Tillis can certainly help you with that.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. That's why I felt good going in. Like that's why, because I was like the guys, they've been pushing me. They beat me up all the time. So like I felt. Yeah, but I guess when you're in a fight, the adrenaline comes out. You get that little extra strength that you probably normally don't have. You
need that.
Yeah, you do.
That fear, not fear, but that adrenaline. Yeah. You're gonna be more lasered in.
Yeah.
My experience, when I'm too comfortable, that's when I don't perform at my top level.
And that's what happened to me in my last fight. That's what's funny. Mm-hmm. My last fight, like. I went in there so overly confident. Like I didn't feel not one bit of nerve. And I should have known that's a bad sign.
That's a very bad sign. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm like, why am I not nervous? Like, but like yesterday I was sitting back there getting my hand wrapped, and it even came to my thought, like in my head, I was like, man, what am I doing here again? But I know why I'm there, because that's where I belong. And honestly, you could probably say it's a gift and a curse at the same time, right? For me, I would say my situation, because, if it wasn't for fighting, and I didn't have this passion for it. I mean, I always wanted to be a fighter since I was a little kid. Like that's when I seen Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme, the Rocky movies, and then I would see Cesar Chavez on TV, De La Hoya. I seen those things. I was like, man, I want to be that. I want to be that one day. But that was like that talk we had earlier about when I looked myself in the mirror. Like, that was what came to my head. It was like I owe it to myself, like to that child in me that had that dream to do this and get out of the situation I'm in. Because if I don't do it, no one's gonna do it for me.
How do you maintain discipline, like cutting weight, for example, watching what you eat? That's a very difficult thing to do. I struggle with my weight. Obviously, I'm a very big guy. I should be at 180, but I'm at 220.
Oh, yeah, like that big one.
Oh, I don't, man. I know.
The jiu-jitsu,
I look amazing.
Jiu-jitsu. You got the grappler body, bro. You got the grappler body.
I amazed this guy yesterday at the pool. I'm hoping to get him on the show, actually. But he was showing me how to swim. He's like, holy crap, man, you're actually pretty good. It's wrestling, man. It's just a certain type of grappling. I mean, it's different than boxing. Striking is a totally different beast. I remember, I train and coach, the kickboxing and stuff. Like that is a different type of workout, and it'll put you on your ass, just like in a different kind of way from jiu-jitsu. But enough about me. But I do have a question for you. Who is the dog in your pictures? You got a dog. Do you have a dog?
Yeah, that's a family dog. Oh. Her name's Mia. Oh, yeah. I love that dog, man. She's a little mutt mixed with she's supposed to be like a Maltese with a Yorkie. But then we look at her and I'm like, ain't no way, man. She's got like Chihuahua in her. She's, But that dog loves me. Like I come into the house and it's just barking like crazy until I touch her and tell her, okay, I'm here.
I'm not a dog owner, but my mom recently got a dog, a cute little like a pug mix, cute little dog, and the kids love it. Yeah. I've never really been much of a dog person because dogs shed. And something about food, hair getting in my food really drives me nuts.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I actually, man, now you're making me think about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do on your off time, like for fun, like for you? That's I know you're not drinking, so you're off the sauce, which I think is amazing, and that's great. When you're not training, are you dating? What are you doing for fun?
Man, Yeah, that guy, I don't got time to date.
You're right, man. They get in the way.
See that it's true, and you know, back to the don't give your strength to women. You know, like
I'm married, man, and then I could do now.
Oh no, that's a wife's different, man. Because a wife's a pillar in life, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's different. Yeah, but
my wife's gonna be like, "What the hell is this guy implying, man?"
What's he implying?
Yeah.
Nah, shoot, I can't wait to find my pillar.
Yeah.
You know that day is gonna be amazing. You know, when you find someone that supports you and is behind you, like the whole way through, in the good and the bad. You know that's hard to find.
Absolutely.
So you gotta protect that when you have it.
Yeah, my wife brought me to Jesus, man.
You see?
You know, she without her, I'd probably still be a waster drinking, and you know, she definitely has motivated me. Sometimes she has to drag me. Sometimes she's pushing.
Yeah, man.
But she's always been there to, you know, be that pillar.
That's good, man.
And she's done so much. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today without her. That's for sure. And I definitely agree with you. Like, marriage is it's the biggest challenge that, I mean, I've done a lot of cool stuff in my life. Not as cool as getting into the cage, but you know, I've had some accomplishments in life, and challenges, but marriage is without a doubt, and being a stepfather and a father as well, has been the most challenging thing I've ever done. Oh yeah. It's not for the weak. You know,
it's not, man. Mm-hmm. Relationships are hard. Like I said, I was married once.
Oh, that's right. You were.
Yeah. So
how long were you married?
We were married for like 2-3 years, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. You know, I think it just, you know, one of the main things is just, you know, bad timing, right? Too young, for sure, too young. You know, and we're just different. That's why when you're able to have that, though, and like I said, like a woman can really be the biggest, like, thing a man can have, you know. But it's challenging. It's hard because, you know, you gotta you know, think about, you know, make sure you're doing right by them and providing, and you know, all those things that come with being a family man. And it's not easy. It's constantly a challenge, you know. Like, even like the Rocky movie says, right? Nothing hits harder. No one's gonna hit you harder than life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so true. And
it's so true, man.
Yeah, like, so
I love Rocky movies, man.
I love the Rocky movies too,
I love them. I could sit and binge on Rocky.
For real, like, they're just good. It's like every time you watch them, it's like, dude, it's as good as the last time.
Yeah. I gotta get myself back in the ring. I gotta get back in the ring. I don't care if I'm 45.
Yeah, it gets you going, man.
And he actually, Sylvester Stallone's his real life, I think he is someone who I've always admired him. You know, he's got such an amazing story, like an incredible story of perseverance and, you know, living out of his car,
not giving up.
Yeah. Do you have someone that you've always motivated you or inspired you, like a real life person, or
someone that I actually know personally,
or you know, like mine's Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah,
I don't know him yet.
Yeah,
not yet, but you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, as a kid, like, watching Rocky, that was inspirational. Watching, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
You know, like, those were inspirational. But, like, I would say right now someone that definitely inspires me a lot, and I feel just because I can relate a lot to him, is Alex Pereira, the UFC champion at 205.
Yeah.
What
is it about him?
Yeah, he came. He's a Brazilian, and he also came from poverty and had to deal with the alcoholism demon. And he overcame it, man. And now he's by far one of the greatest combat athletes known to man. You know, has been a champion in 2 divisions in the UFC, coming from a kickboxing background, being a two division champion in kickboxing as well, and then going to UFC and doing that also, and coming from a background of alcoholism where people, you know, you say they were writing him off, you know, and now look at him, sober and on top of the world.
You think people are making the mistake of writing you off?
I think people wrote me off already a long time ago. That's what I think. I feel like a lot of people wrote me off.
Does that motivate you?
I think that was a big motivator, yeah, for sure. Because not no more as much, because I feel like I've already punched people in the mouth. Literally too. And I don't think anybody expected to see me rise from the ashes like I have. I was telling my mom, I was having this conversation with her yesterday, and I was telling her, like, it's crazy how I see if you looked at my life unfold, I was almost like, I could see why people wrote me off. It was almost like, he's just not going down the right path. He's not doing anything for himself. And realistically speaking, I really wasn't. I was being a pussy, man. I was just being, I was just feeling sorry for myself and drinking and trying to act like everything was okay and that I was doing things right. But in reality, I wasn't doing even half of what I could have been doing to be right. So.
Well, that's a big part of what I care about. Part of this show is there's a lot of people out there who missed opportunities, man. They just didn't rise to the occasion, but they still have this lie going on in their heads that it's too late.
It's never too late, man. It's never too late. And I want everybody to know that for sure. Don't ever think it's too late. It's only too late if you say it's too late. That's when it's too late, but it's not too late. One thing, that people got it. It's easier said than done is to not care what other people think, right? It's easier. Yeah, everyone wants to say, I don't care what people think. We care what people think, man. Everybody cares. That's why they think twice before doing things they do.
I would have started this show 4 years ago if I had this for 4 years and I did nothing with it because I cared what people thought.
That's a perfect example, because I have my brother, right? He's a good kid. It's just he's the same situation. He's comfortable, and he has these passions that he does, but he doesn't do anything to pursue them because he cares what people think. And I try to tell him, man, look at me, dude. Just trying to tell him, to keep him, give him some motivation. I'm like, look, dude, so what? Win or lose, dude. I'm gonna still do it. I don't care what people think. I mean, yeah, I do, but I'm telling him that so he can find that courage to just be like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Right. Okay, I'm gonna do it. But
well, it's that old adage, you don't get over the fear. It's you do. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing here, but you don't get rid of the fear. It's you overcome it. Mm-hmm. You rise above it, but you never get rid of it. I mean,
it's always scary, man. When you're putting yourself out there, it's always going to be intimidating because you're going to have two kinds of people. You're going to have the positive people, being usually the strangers, right? The people you don't know, it's crazy. And then you're going to have the haters and the people who want to see you fail or don't want to even see you in the position you're in. And sometimes those are people who, again, close to you, unfortunately. But, that's why, pursuing your dreams is important. Don't limit yourself. I'm not even where I want to be yet. I still have a plan that I laid out for myself, and I plan on seeing it to the end. God willing, I stay healthy, nothing happens, and I can continue on this path.
What's next on your path? What's next for you?
For me right now, well, I'm about to finish. I've been going to school too on top of everything else, so I'm about to finish. Yeah, man.
Where are you going to school? What are you doing?
I go to DeVry, man.
No.
Yeah, and I'm doing cybersecurity, so I'm learning how to do computers and stuff like that.
The one in Long Beach?
The one in Pomona, Ontario. I think it's Ontario now.
I did 15 units at DeVry.
Oh, yeah. There you go. See,
yeah, that's great, man. That's great. And that's a hard school. know, and it's expensive too.
Oh yeah. So luckily, luckily, shout out to the VA for that. I mean, I
excellent.
earned it though. So,
Excellent, yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely, like, cause the VA gives you a GI Bill, right? And I don't know how many veterans know this, but you only have a certain window to use that. It's not forever. Yeah. You only have like 10 years after you get out to use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I was coming up on those 10 years. I only had 10 years. I only had 2 years left to use it. Again, one of those things like, and it's when I started, a couple months after I started training, I was sober. So I got in my mind, I was able to think straight, started losing weight like crazy, getting in shape. I knew though, when I came back to train that I was going to fight. I knew it. That was the only reason I came back. It was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see it out. And, as everything was going good, I was like, hey man, I could do these things. Like I enrolled in school. And yeah, so this September, my 2 years are up with but I'm gonna finish school in September and get my degree. So
Excellent.
So that's the next big goal that I'm looking forward to accomplishing. And the other short-term goals for right now is just continue competing in jiu-jitsu, striking matches and MMA. I plan on having at least 3 more fights before the MMA fights before the year's over.
Oh, okay.
And God willing, I can pull a victory in all those 3, and then depending how they go, we'll gauge with my coaches and stuff of going pro or not. And then once I do that, once I go pro, I've reached the summit. Regardless of what people say, oh, you didn't go to the UFC, or that would be amazing if I could do that, if I could get there, I'm not saying I can't, but it's just, I kind of am realistic with myself about the fact that I'm not as young. So, my time is short, and I don't know how much more, my body's going to be able to keep going. But like I said, until the wheels fall off, I'm doing this. And
take it from a 45-year-old. You can go.
Yeah.
I be putting it down on the mats.
Yeah, I know you do. I see you when we were at No Gi. I was like, dang, dude. I was like, that guy moves, man.
Yeah, not bad for an old guy with arthritis, man. But you're still pretty young. I would give anything to be. No, I wouldn't give anything, but I remember being 34 years old. Yeah. It wasn't until I hit 40 that things started not working right.
It's like, hey, when did that?
Yeah, like why is it so hard to get out of the bed at night? But Rio, man, I think I could say for the gym and for myself, we're proud of you, and we're looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. And I know you got a bright future, man. I do, and just give it to God and just stay the course, and that's it. And I really want to thank you for coming on the show and being here. I really appreciate that, and all the best of luck to you.
Thank you for having me, man. This is fun. This is a good talk.
Well, I hope you come back, man.
Yeah, for sure. We should do this again. This was fun. I liked it.
Absolutely,
it was a good talk.
Really good.